The CFO of IMAX looked at Disney's new Infinity Vision rollout and basically said, yeah, that's a marketing play. Not a YouTuber, not a Reddit thread, not some random guy screaming into a Doctor Doom helmet. The CFO of IMAX, a real executive on a real analyst call, telling Wall Street that Disney's shiny new premium screen label is basically a sticker. And that sticker exists because Avengers Doomsday, the movie Marvel is desperately trying to sell as the next Endgame, apparently does not have the clean IMAX launch Marvel would normally expect. Because, well, Dune got there first. Dune took the premium screen crown. Marvel got Infinity Vision, which sounds less like cinematic innovation and more like your mom saying, no, we have IMAX at home. And the funniest part, Disney is now re-releasing Avengers Endgame to help sell Doomsday as the next big Marvel event. Which is interesting because for a lot of people, Endgame wasn't the beginning of something new. It was where they got off the ride. So today we're talking about how Marvel lost the big screen narrative to Dune, why Infinity Vision feels like corporate damage control with the logo, and why Avengers Doomsday is already carrying the smell of desperation before the first trailer even does its job. Because this isn't just about screens, it's about status. And Marvel used to own status. Now they're trying to certify it. Welcome back to the Critical Nerd, where we keep our expectations low and our receipts high. And if you're new here, welcome. Stick around. This channel is where we look at Hollywood spin, box office math, franchise panic, corporate cope, and all the little receipts the excess media would really prefer you don't notice. So do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and strap in because apparently Disney found a way to lose IMAX to a sandworm. Now, before anybody gets mad in the comments, I need to be clear about something. I'm not saying Avengers Doomsday is guaranteed to flop. I'm not saying that Dune Part 3 will automatically outgross Avengers worldwide. And I'm not saying every normal person chooses a movie based on IMAX. Most people pick theater based on showtime, parking, seat selection, and whether the popcorn costs more than their electric bill. But that's not the point. The point is this. Marvel is trying to sell Doomsday as the next Endgame. And Endgame level event movies don't usually need a backup premium screen brand because another franchise took the prestige screens. There's the receipt. So I'm going to start with the obvious. Avengers Doomsday is not being treated like just another MCU movie. This is not Shang-Chi 2. This is not Eternals, Please Pretend You Remember Us. This is not Captain America, We Swear the Reshoots Were Normal. This is the big one. The Russos are back. Robert Downey Jr. is back. Dr. Doom is here. The cast list looks like Kevin Feige dumped IMDb into a blender. This is Marvel standing in front of the audience with a giant neon sign saying, remember when you used to care? And honestly, I get it. Marvel had to do something because after Endgame, the MCU entered what I like to call the homework area. Some would even call it Phase 4. Phases 4 and 5 became a cinematic shared Google Calendar. To understand one movie, you needed to watch 3 Disney Plus shows, 2 post-credit scenes, a variety interview, a Comic-Con panel, and possibly a deleted scene from a project nobody finished. The MCU used to feel like a connected story. Then it started feeling like a group project where nobody read the syllabus. And now Disney seems to be positioning Doomsday like it picks up where Endgame left off, which is hilarious because, excuse me, what do you mean it picks up after Endgame? What happened to Phase 4? What happened to Phase 5? What happened to Kang? What happened to all the multiverse setup? What happened to, this is all important, guys, trust us? Did all that just happen in a deleted folder? This is why the Endgame re-release matters. Disney is not just re-releasing an old Avengers movie because they love nostalgia. They're trying to reconnect Doomsday to the last moment when Marvel had total audience trust. They don't want you to think about Quantumania. They definitely don't want you thinking about the Marvels. And they really don't want you thinking about Secret Invasion. They don't want you thinking about the years of homework, confusion, and declining returns. They want you thinking about Endgame, because Endgame is the receipt they actually like. Here's where it gets embarrassing, though. When Marvel was on top, the premium screen conversation was automatic. Avengers movie? IMAX. Big Marvel event? IMAX. Cultural moment? IMAX. You didn't need a new certification. You didn't need a new logo. You didn't need Disney giving audiences a theater scavenger hunt to find the biggest, brightest, most immersive screen near you. You just got IMAX because Marvel was the event. But now, well, Dune Part 3 has the clean IMAX narrative. And that matters because Dune has spent 2 movies teaching audiences that this franchise belongs on the biggest screen possible. Denis Villeneuve understands theatrical scale. He shoots for scale. He designs for scale. He builds images that make the audiences say, yeah, I probably shouldn't watch this for the first time on a phone while eating leftover tacos. The sandworms are massive. The landscapes are massive. The sound design is massive. The whole thing feels engineered to justify a premium ticket. Meanwhile, Marvel has spent the last few years training audiences to ask, do I need to watch the Disney Plus show first? That's a problem. And that's why Dune winning the IMAX narrative is such a bad look. Dune doesn't have to scream that it's cinematic. It just looks cinematic. Marvel is out here inventing Infinity Vision like it's putting a fresh coat of paint on a theater seat that already reclined yesterday. Now, I gotta be fair. Infinity Vision is not imaginary. Disney describes it as a certification for premium large format theaters to meet certain standards: large screens, laser projection, strong brightness and clarity, premium audio, and a more immersive presentation. That all sounds fine. Nobody's against good screens. Nobody's against better projection. Nobody's against premium audio. If I'm paying $25 to watch superheroes punch a green screen for 3 hours, yes, I would like to actually see the pixels. But here's the key point. Infinity Vision's not a new format. It's not a new projector. It's not a new sound system. It's not a new screen being built from the ground up. It's a certification for screens that already exist. It's a sticker. A Disney-approved sticker on a theater you could already go to. Yes, like yesterday. That's the part Disney's marketing wants to blur. Because the way this is being presented, casual moviegoers might think this is some new technological leap. Like Disney just invented the next stage of cinema. No, that's not it. They invented a label. And listen, labels can be useful. Dolby means something. IMAX means something. 4DX means something. Even if that meaning is, congratulations, your chair is going to assault you during the third act. But Infinity Vision? That means Disney found a way to tell you which existing premium format screens they would like you to treat as the next big thing. And that's where it starts to smell less like innovation and more like desperation. Because if this were really about improving the theatrical experience, I'd be all for it. Theaters do need improvement. Hey, ticket prices are up. Concessions, well, they're insane. People are on their phones. Some auditoriums feel like they haven't been cleaned since The Last Jedi. Studios and exhibitors should absolutely work together to make the theater experience better. But that does not feel like what Infinity Vision is. Infinity Vision feels like Disney is saying, we lost the IMAX narrative, so here's a new badge. And then IMAX came in like the villain in a boardroom scene, because when asked about Infinity Vision, IMAX leadership basically said this is a marketing play to offset the fact that Disney does not have the IMAX platform or brand for Avengers Doomsday. Ouch. That is brutal. It's not a random insult. That is corporate speak for, we know what you're doing there. And honestly, it is rare that corporate executives hand YouTubers a script that clean. Because what else do you even say? IMAX basically looked at Infinity Vision and said, that's cute, but it doesn't offer the consumer anything they couldn't get yesterday. And that there is the kill shot, because that's exactly the issue here. If Infinity Vision was actually some massive leap forward, IMAX would have to treat it like a threat. Instead, They treated it like a coupon. And when the premium screen company is publicly clowning your premium screen workaround, that's not a fan war. That's a business receipt. Marvel fans can argue in the comments all day, but IMAX has no reason to help Disney spin this. IMAX is saying what everyone else can see. Disney needed a premium screen story because Doomsday didn't get the clean IMAX story. And again, this does not mean Doomsday is dead, but it means Disney is reacting. Marvel used to make the industry react. Now Marvel is the one doing reacting, and there's the shift. This is the part Marvel fans don't want to hear. Dune did not just stumble into this. Warner Brothers, Legendary, and Villeneuve built a strong theatrical identity around this franchise. Whether you personally love the Dune movies or not, the theatrical identity is undeniable. Those movies feel like they belong in a theater. They feel expensive in the right way. Not, we spent $300 million and somehow everything looks like a cutscene expensive. I mean, expensive like scale, texture, composition, sound, atmosphere, and that stuff matters. Because IMAX is not just renting big screens. IMAX is selling an experience. And Dune has become one of the clearest modern franchises that actually enhances that experience. So if IMAX has to pick between a filmmaker with a proven IMAX relationship and a franchise built around giant format spectacle, or Marvel trying to recapture 2019 magic by turning Robert Downey Jr. into Dr. Doom, I can see why they went with the sandworm. And that's the real insult. Dune didn't beat Marvel in a Twitter argument. Dune beat Marvel in the room where the adults count money. A few years ago, this probably would have not have happened. If this were 2019 and Marvel had an Avengers movie coming out, IMAX would have rolled out the red carpet, the purple carpet, the Infinity Stone carpet, whatever carpet Kevin Feige wanted. Because Marvel was a sure thing. The audiences trusted them. The theaters trusted them. The brand was bulletproof. But that was before the Marvels. That was before Quantumania. That was before Secret Invasion. That was before the Kang pivot. Before the audience realized the multiverse saga was less of a plan and more of a corporate escape room. Marvel lost trust. Not just with fans, with the business. And that is a much bigger problem. Because fans' trust affects hype. Because business trust affects placement. Screens, dates, premium formats, marketing leverage. Theaters deciding which movies deserve the best real estate. That is why this Infinity Vision story matters. It's not just about whether some guy can find a Dolby screen near him. It's about Marvel no longer being the automatic first choice. Now let's talk about that in-game re-release, because this is where the whole strategy becomes painfully obvious. Disney is launching Infinity Vision with Avengers Endgame before Doomsday. And there may be deleted scenes, surprises, maybe even a post-credit tease for Doomsday, and honestly, that is probably a bigger draw than Infinity Vision. People are not going to rush out because the screen has a new Disney-approved badge. They might go because there's a new Doomsday footage attached to Endgame. And that tells you what Disney's really selling. They're not selling Infinity Vision. They're selling the memory of when Marvel mattered more. They're saying, look, remember this? Remember how you felt? Remember when the MCU was the biggest thing in the world? Please bring that emotional baggage to our next movie. That's the play. And I get why they're doing it. Endgame is the last universally successful emotional checkpoint for Marvel. It is the last time the MCU felt like an appointment viewing across the culture. But that also creates a problem. Because reminding people of Endgame also reminds people of what came after. And what came after is the reason Doomsday needs this much help in the first place. You can't use Endgame as your hype battery without reminding everyone that the battery died years ago. Now let's be realistic. Will normal audiences refuse to see Avengers Doomsday because it doesn't have a clean IMAX rollout? Probably not. Most people are not checking investor calls before buying a ticket. Most people are saying, well, I was going to watch Dr. Doom, but the premium large format certification ecosystem lacks brand clarity. No, they're not saying that. Normal people will see the trailer. They'll see RDJ, they'll see the Avengers name, and plenty of them will buy a ticket. So, This is not a death sentence, but it is a warning sign because premium screens matter most on opening weekend. They drive higher ticket prices. They boost per theater averages. They create urgency. They help make a movie feel like an event. And for a movie that is reportedly going to cost an absurd amount of money, every premium dollar matters. Marvel cannot afford for Doomsday to perform like pretty good. This movie has to feel massive. It has to feel unavoidable. It has to feel like the audience would be missing something if they stayed home. And losing the clean IMAX story makes that harder. Not impossible, but harder, which is exactly why Infinity Vision exists. So no, Avengers Doomsday, it's not dead. No, Infinity Vision does not mean every screen is bad. And no, Dune winning IMAX does not automatically mean Dune wins the box office. But it does mean something. It means Marvel is not the automatic king anymore. It means Disney is trying to manufacture premium status because another franchise got the cleaner, stronger, more recognizable premium screen narrative. And that means Doomsday is already dealing with the exact problem it was supposed to solve. Marvel does not feel inevitable anymore. That's the receipt. The old Marvel would have walked into December and owned the room. This Marvel is explaining the differences between IMAX, Dolby, 4DX, PLF, RPX, ScreenX, and Infinity Vision like it's given a PowerPoint presentation at a theater owner convention. And the audience is sitting there saying, cool, but is this movie actually good? Because that's where we are now. The gimmicks don't matter if the movie doesn't deliver. The screen doesn't save the story. The logo doesn't restore the trust. And a sticker does not turn Doomsday into Endgame. So let me know what you think in the comments. Does the IMAX issue actually hurt Avengers Doomsday? Or is this just premium format nerd drama that won't matter once RDJ puts on the Doom mask? And are you interested in seeing Doom Part 3 on the biggest screen possible? Or are you still all in on Marvel's big comeback attempt? If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, hit like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, share this thing out there with your friends and family, because around here, we just don't follow the hype. We follow the receipts. I'm the Critical Nerd. As always, keep your expectations low and your receipts high, and I am out.